What's going on, guys? Tom here, and welcome to my preview for the Championship playoff final between Sheffield United and Sunderland. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to make this video. To be honest, I was convinced we were gonna lose in the semi-finals. Even before I knew that we were gonna be playing Coventry, I just had a feeling that we weren't even gonna make it this far. But you know, in typical Sunderland fashion, we've made it so much harder than what it needed to be, yet we're still here, we're still standing, and yeah, we're now 90 minutes, maybe 120 minutes away from the Premier League, which is a really strange sentence to say because this is the closest we've gotten to actually getting back into the Premier League since we got relegated 8 years ago, which is mental. I was in year 8, the last time we were in the Premier League. Now I'm fucking 21 now, I'm with... Oh, it's been a long journey, but as I mentioned, we are here. And then, unfortunately, standing in our way is one of the best teams to never get top 2 in the history of the Championship. Sheffield United got 90 points. Didn't get finished third and 90 points. I believe only Southampton last season have got more points than Sheffield United have and still not get promoted. Yet they ended up getting promoted in the end, so who knows? I mean, I'm not one for omens or superstitions by any means, but when it comes down to Sunderland, that's where I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit different because, if you want to break a bad record or a bad streak, just fucking play us, play Sunderland, and you'll be good to go. Because literally, we've got a horrendous record in the playoffs. We've only been promoted once through the playoffs, technically twice, because obviously back in 1990, obviously we did lose to Swindon in the final, but because they were had some dodgy doings behind the scenes, I mean that we got promoted instead. But the only time that we actually got promoted outright through our own doing, not someone else's, was 3 years ago when we beat Wickham in the League One playoff final. And it was weird because although we were the favourites going into that game, I wasn't confident, and that is the only time I've never ever been confident going into a Sunderland game in Wembley. Yet we still won, which is weird. Even against Portsmouth and Charlton, I was expecting us to go in and win. We lost both times. Man City, I was a naive 10-year-old kid. I thought we were going to go and win. Even at half time when we 1-0 up, I thought we were going to go and win. We lost, we got beat. Tranmere in the Peter Cup final, truthfully, I wasn't completely bothered about that, although I was still a little bit nervous yet to still win that one, and obviously we'll beat Wickham in League One. But I mean, to be fair, this is a completely different kettle of fish, it really is. Sheffield United, they've got such a good team for this level. Barrett and Diaz up front. I mean, to be fair, literally, Sunderland fans were singing his praises a few years ago when he scored the goals for Blackburn against Millwall, which meant that we overtook Millwall to get playoffs, and in the end, that could easily be undone on Saturday. Gus Hamer played the season in the league. He had a very good year. Some people argued it at the time, but you can't deny the quality that he's got. Callum O'Hare, he's a very good impact player at the moment. It seems for Sheffield United, he's not starting every game, but he's a good option to have on the bench. Harrison Burrows, what a pickup from him from Peterborough that they are. Obviously, unbelievable player. And also Michael Cooper, in my opinion, the second best keeper in the league, obviously behind Victor Johansson. I know Stoke fans, Sheffield United fans and Plymouth fans like to say that Cooper's better. Trust me, I've seen them both play often, and Johansson is head and shoulders above Cooper. But Cooper, for me, is the next best thing in this league. And yeah, Sheffield United, I mean, to be fair, they've got a squad as well, which it's still got players like Ahmed Hozic, players like that who've been in the Premier League with them before, that know what to do, they've been there, they've done it. Our players, I don't think any of our current couple of players have actually played in the Premier League. I think Robertson might have played a game here there for Man City when he was there. I'm trying to think. I don't think any of our current couple of players have actually played in the Premier League or even been in this old position before. Yes, they've been in playoff games before, multiple, obviously, loads of them. This is our 5th playoff campaign in the last 7 seasons. The likes of Luke O'Nien, Dan Neil, even though Dennis Serkin Trey Hume, like these guys have been through the fucking ringer, right? They know what to fucking expect at this point. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, literally, like we still got a core of players who were with us back in the League One player final. Like literally, from that squad that we had to play against Wickham, we still got Anthony Patterson, Trey Hume, Dennis Serkin, Dan Neal, Patrick Roberts. You know, like we still got a good number of those players who did play in that game. Although, to be fair, I don't think Dan Neal actually played. I think Dan Neal was on the bench. But you know, like those players who were in the squad back then when we won, you know, they're still here now. You know, so they've seen both ends of the stick, which I suppose doesn't it doesn't, you know, it isn't too bad to have, I suppose. But yeah, I think, you know, in terms of form going into it, obviously, you know, our form was pretty well documented going into playoffs. You know, losing our last 5 games in a row. You know, our last actual league win came against West Brom at the start of April. Like, we lost 5 in a row. So that's like we didn't win in our last 6 games. And we were hardly scoring goals as well, which I think was, for me, was the bigger concern. Not the fact that we were losing games, although it was a concern that we were losing every week. But it was the fact that we weren't even scoring goals. I mean, we were hardly creating chances for ourselves. It was just wasn't looking good. And you know, everyone doubted that we could, you know, turn the switch on in the playoffs. But so far we have, and we, you know, I think especially in that first leg, we seem to be more like the something that we've grown to know this season, where yeah, like it's not particularly very pretty football at times, but you know, we're doing the right things. We're very tough to break down, and yeah, you know, we're taking on chances, which for me is the main thing. You know, like Wilson Isidore was on a massive goal drive. You know, he hadn't scored since we played Leeds at Ellen Road back in the middle of February. That was his first goal in about 3 months. Mayenda, other than his great goal against Bristol City, he was on a bit of a goal drought as well. You know, like it wasn't looking good up front or something, but you know, we managed to make it work. And yeah, you know, it took a bit of luck, I'll admit, in those semi-finals, but you know, we got the job done. The breeze set us up to an absolute T, and you know, here we are now. And on the flip side, Sheffield United, where I mean, to be fair, they absolutely cruised through the playoffs, didn't they? I mean, biggest ever aggregate scoreline, I think in playoff history outright. Never mind in the second tier. I think outright is the biggest ever scoreline I've ever seen in the playoffs. And yeah, obviously you can point to the first leg and say, oh yeah, Bristol City red card penalty changed the game. Well, second leg, you know, where theoretically had nothing to play for, they still had a good amount of chances. Bristol City, you know, opening half an hour, didn't take any of them. Sheffield United's first chance of the game to score. You know, like I think what Sunderland and Sheffield United have shown, not just in the playoffs but this season, that you don't have to play, you know, brilliant football. You know, you can still, you know, grind out results, which I think you can probably argue more so for Sheffield United than Sunderland have. Obviously, although we haven't particularly played well like in a full 90, for me, in my opinion, since like maybe like October, maybe. Sheffield United, I mean, have they ever actually blown a team out? Obviously, other than Bristol City, have they actually blown a team out the park? I mean, like I'm pretty sure it was pretty well-known fact that they were playing absolutely poorly at the midpoint of the season, yet they were still grinding results out. And you know, at the time I'm thinking, well, you know what, they're probably going to get promoted, because you know that's a true sign of a good team, where you can still play badly but still grind results out, you know. And yeah, and I think honestly in the 2 games that we played against each other in the league, we were the better team in both games. More so at the Stadium of Light, I think, than Bramall Lane. I think you know, the game of Bramall Lane was such a strange game of football, you know, because you know, both teams had a man sent off. We missed a penalty. We missed a fucking buttload of chances as well. And then, you know, they had their fair share of chances as well. Sheffield United, obviously, they took theirs. You know, Tom Davies scoring on the 80th minute, and then again back at the Stadium of Light. I mean, again, you know, penalty save. Kiefer Moore had a penalty saved. Isidore and Mayenda both got on the score sheet, funny enough, in that game, where we also played 4-4-2. And yeah, I think other than their goal, I don't really remember Sheffield United creating that many chances, really. And yeah, I mean, again, you know, form means absolutely nothing going into a game at Wembley, because you know it's a one-off game. It's a cup final. Anything can happen. Like we've seen already this season. The underdog of literally like all cup finals when we so far this season be won by the underdog. You know, Newcastle beating Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, Peterborough beating Birmingham in the Pap John's final as well. You know, like everyone thought Birmingham were going to absolutely steamroll Peterborough having the worst season in quite a while. They absolutely fucking comfortably won. Crystal Palace just beat Man City in the FA Cup final. So this year Wembley seems to be the year for the underdogs, really. And I think going into this game we probably are the slight underdogs, which, you know, it's expected. You know, Sheffield United finished higher than us this season. You know, they finished 14 points ahead of us in the end. So it doesn't really surprise too much. You know, they probably do have a better squad than us, really. But, you know, again, it all just comes down to what happens on the day. And hopefully, you know, we can take this resilience that we seem to have built and take it into the Wembley. And hopefully the players give the 35,000 fans something to cheer about, you know. Like literally, like that playoff semi-final against Coventry, just the noise when Ballard scored. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it at the Stadium of Light. And bear in mind, I've only been going for 13 years. You know, like there hasn't been too much to celebrate in the stadium since it's been opened. But I mean, even after Wiseman say at the start, my ears were fucking ringing. After that, you know, like literally, it felt different, you know, like having a sellout crowd fully behind the team. Like the atmosphere was just different, great. I mean, throughout the match, you know, especially second half, I think it definitely died down a little bit. Particularly when Coventry scored, I think that's when we had the heads down a little bit, because, you know, it was coming. Unfortunately, in the second half, Coventry's goal was coming. But it was weird because, like, obviously everyone's saying, oh yeah, Coventry were the better team in the semi-finals, and perhaps, you know, I wouldn't say that we were brilliant by any means, because I don't think we were, really. You know, we didn't play particularly well, but I mean, other than the 2 goals that Coventry scored and Hadji Wright's header that he missed in the 90th minute, Coventry didn't really create anything else. I mean, I really don't remember Anthony Patterson really having to do much in both legs. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a game where Coventry absolutely blew out the water, because that's not true at all. That really isn't true. You know, they had more of the ball, but they didn't really do much with it. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, like, fucking possession doesn't matter. Football, it doesn't matter at all. That there's only one stat that matters, and that's the fucking scoreline. You know, so it is just one of those, really. And hopefully we don't have the same tactic in mind. Like hopefully, you know, like as well as us being, you know, very defensively strong, structured team. At the same time, I hope I would do actually, you know, try to get some attacking movements going as well, because I think against Coventry we knew we could soak up the pressure, but I just don't think that you can do the same against Sheffield United, who've got some of the best strikers in the league. You know, Brereton Diaz, I'm pointing him again. You know, like he knows what the fucking back of the net is. You know, so it's one of those where hopefully, although I hope we are still very solid at the back, hopefully it's we'll actually have a bit more fluidity going forward as well. And yeah, you know, one more push, who knows what will happen. In terms of the scoreline, I don't know. I really don't know. I think it probably will be 0-0 at half time. I think the first half will be a bit cagey from both teams. You know, both teams will be you know, going in the mindset of don't concede an early goal. Just keep your shape, keep something going. But then, like, I think start the second half where we'll probably see the first goal. I think both sides have scored most of their goals at the start of the second half. Like, you know, Sheffield United has scored 69 goals this season. 14 of those have come in the first 15 minutes of the second half, and Sunderland, we scored 60. 12 of ours have come start the second half. You know, so that's, you know, I think those first 15-20 minutes of the second half are probably where we'll see the first goal. And to be fair, I think both teams will score, but I also think it'll be done. I think it'll be done in 90 minutes as well. Well, I hope it's done in 90 minutes, because I don't think I can cope with extra time again, and even penalties this time. You know, it was almost penalties against Coventry. I really don't want to get to that point. no matter what happens, I hope it's just done within 90 minutes, so that you know I can just hop on a train and go home afterwards. Yeah, I've got the backers. I've got the backers, haven't I? I've got the backers. I have to. What's the point of me saying fucking Sheffield United are gonna win? Like, what kind of fan would I be to say that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. So I'm gonna say 2-1 Sunderland win for this one. I'll go Isidore Mayenda. Why not? You know, they'll both be with high confidence. Yeah, Isidore Mayenda with the goals. I'm also gonna go with I'm gonna go with Callum O'Hare to score for the Blades as well off the bench. I think he'll score as well. So there's that. Anyways, that's it for me. Again, it's not often I do a match preview, but hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. Yeah, we've got 4 days to go. No, 5. 5 days to go. It's Monday. Fucking hell. Yeah, 5 days to go. Fingers crossed. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all next time.